Hi guys, let me show you how to complete the gravity in orbit simulation. Here's the assignment. I'm going to click on it so that I can see it in full screen, and then here is the link to the simulation. Now you can play around with the settings on the simulation later if you would like to, but for the assignment we're going to start out with the model setting, and I'll show you once it loads. Here it is right here. If you want to try to scale, that just shows you how big the Earth and the Moon and the Sun really are in real life compared to each other. You can do that later after the assignment is done, but for the assignment you need to click Model. And then it is best if we turn on the gravity force arrows, and then sometimes we can also turn on the path. That can help as well. Now if you click play, you can see the moon going, or sorry, not the moon, the Earth going around the sun, and these blue arrows show you how big gravity is. Now I'm going to pause it for a moment and I'm going to change the gravity. The way I can change the gravity is by changing the mass. For example, this slider here, if I make the sun's mass larger, look at what happened to the gravity arrows, the blue ones. I'm going to move it back. Now watch the sun and the Earth, watch their blue gravity arrows. As I make the mass of the sun larger, the gravity, the Earth is pulling the sun and the sun is pulling the Earth, they both get bigger because things with more mass have more gravity. Now I'm going to return the sun back to normal. Watch me change the Earth's mass, and you can see that the gravity arrows get bigger that time as well because things with more mass have more gravity, and because of Newton's third law, however hard the sun pulls on the Earth pulls back with the same force. But the Earth moves around the sun because it has less mass than the sun. So they're pulling with the same force, Newton's third law, but the Earth is the one that moves because it's got less mass, it's smaller. Anyway, let me zoom in on this assignment so we can see it better. Okay, number 1, why do you think the Earth moves around the sun but the sun does not move? Dang it, I just gave you the answer. But anyway, hopefully you were listening. You can go ahead and type your answer there. Now, this is the part that my students sometimes have a hard time with. It says, carry out an investigation with this simulation exploring the question, how does mass affect gravity? So we want to find out how mass affects gravity. So that means we have to change the mass and measure the gravity. So if we change the mass, see what happens to the gravity, okay? So our hypothesis, I'll let you go ahead and type your own. It needs if, then, and because. So if I increase the mass of the sun, then you got to say what will happen to the gravity. Because, and you got to say why, okay? Let me say that again. If I increase the mass of the sun, then, and you got to say what will happen to the gravity. So type your own thing, what you think will happen. Because, and then you say why. Now the independent variable is the thing that hopefully you said in your head, change. So we want to know how mass affects gravity. So think about what we're going to change if we want to know how mass affects gravity. Now the dependent variable is the thing we measure. So what are we going to measure? We're going to see what happens if we change the mass. What are we going to measure about the planet, okay? So I'll let you figure that out. Down here in the data table, this is where you change something every time. We're going to change the mass every time. For example, look at what this person wrote. Change Earth's mass to 1.5. Let's do that right now. So I'm going to click play. Here's the Earth's mass. Right now it's at 1, just the mass of Earth, the real life mass of Earth. Now I'm going to change it to 1.5. I'm going to pause it, and I want you to watch those blue gravity arrows. When I change the mass of the planet to 1.5, the gravity gets stronger. So I need to type that over here. This person did that. They typed changed Earth's mass to 1.5, and then the dependent variable, what they measured, the gravity between Earth and the sun got stronger. That's how you do it. So then for trial 2, you could change something else, but remember, you can only change one thing at a time. So we have to change the planet's mass back to normal, back to 1. So now maybe this time I want to change the sun's mass to less. Then I would make sure the Earth's mass is back to normal. And then I would drag the sun's mass down to 1.5, or not 1.5, just 0.5. See how the gravity arrows shrunk? So if we decrease the mass of the sun, the gravity gets weaker. So you need to type that for trial 2. You would type change sun's mass to 0.5 or 0.5. And then the gravity between the Earth and the sun got weaker. So you keep doing more trials, okay? Then you need to say, how does mass affect gravity? What evidence you have from your data table, and explain how that evidence supports it, okay? Now down here, this part is really easy. You predict what you think will happen if you increase the size of the sun. Say what you think will happen. Then you do it on the simulation. Then you type what actually happened. So you do that for every single one of these. You predict what will happen if you do this here. Then you actually do it on the simulation. And then you type what actually happened. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. All right, so that's how you do this assignment. And good luck.